Welcome to McKees Rocks Part 2, Island Avenue. Coming across the McKees Rocks Bridge from Ohio River Boulevard, you run smack dab into the middle of Island Avenue. At the end of the bridge, gas stations now occupy the property of the old Blaine School, which was built in 1888 and demolished in 1996. Dr. Bubb was a well-known local doctor who was the main surgeon and physician for 14 industrial plants in the Ohio Valley. He died in 1944. Island Avenue was the main route for public transportation to take people to Neville Island, Coraopolis, Sewickley, and beyond. Now here's a little place that deserves a mention. The shelter for the Norwood Incline, which operated here from 1901 to 1923, was also known as the Penny Incline, which was originally free, but it got the name Penny Incline when it had to start charging a 1-cent fare. The shelter is the only remaining remnant of those days from over 100 years ago. Even the buildings around it have disappeared. The original Ohio Valley Hospital stood at the corner of the hill above Island Avenue from the 1890s until it moved to Kennedy Township in 1949. It's now part of the Heritage Valley Health System, but Mother of Sorrows Church bought the site and was there until 2021. But let's take a little detour to the left up McCoy Road. McCoy Road is a main connection to Island Avenue from the Norwood section of Stowe Township and Kennedy Township. The upcoming pictures document the road after improvements were made to it. But let's go back down McCoy to Island Avenue. Wait, what happened to the sidewalk? We're going to take one more little detour up here to see the building of the Stowe Tunnel. We're going to come back to that building in the center of the picture in a few minutes. Just off Island Avenue at this point was Millie's Auto Wreckers. As we'll see, Emilio Vadimo was a grocer on the other side of McKees Rocks Bridge on Island Avenue before he branched out into used auto parts. The wrecking yard was just to the right here. Just like West Carson Street, the only paving that was done was by the trolley companies to maintain their tracks.
The land here had been gradually sliding down into the Ohio River Valley for several years.
Longtime establishment Trapp's Hotel and Bar had to be removed in the 1950s, as well as the barber shop next door, to make room for improvements to the road. Here they are in the 20s preparing to build Fleming Park Road to Coriopolis Road as an alternative to using Neville Island. Things changed again in the 1950s when they wanted to build a new Fleming Park Bridge to Neville Island to replace the old narrow 60-year-old bridge that was built in 1894. The U.S. Navy built a wooden supplemental bridge in 1947 to help get supplies to and from Neville Island during World War II. After the new bridge was built, demolition began on the old bridge. Now we'll head back to Island Avenue from Neville Island. In September of 1981, a Gulf gasoline truck collided with a Port Authority bus and caught fire. Now notice this building. It's still there today, but the smokestack is gone. It started out in 1904 as the First National Brewing Company, and then it became the Independent Brewing Company until it was bought by Duquesne Brewery, who kept brewing beer there until 1951. Here we come back to the bottom of McCoy Road leading to the McKees Rocks Bridge. You can see the Blaine School in the distance. The old trolley stop is still a bus stop today. We'll come back here in a little bit, but from here, Island Avenue heads towards Chartiers Avenue. Originally, the railroad had an at-grade crossing across Chartiers Avenue at the beginning of Island Avenue. The trestle wasn't built until 1911. The trestle is over 120 years old now. Island Avenue was the scene of many parades in the late 40s and early 50s. And gas prices will never be the same. The Pittsburgh and Lake Erie Railroad established this YMCA so their workers and their families could have some clean recreation. This was one of the many local establishments that also catered to the needs of the workers. And they didn't have far to go to get their beer, right down the road. And here's where Emilio Vatimo had his store before he opened up his wrecking yard. Almost across the street was Hatman's grocery store. These two houses on the left are still there. But if we look back behind us, things have certainly changed. But let's continue on towards the McKees Rocks Bridge. The O'Donovan building held several businesses and retail outlets. You can tell where it was by looking at the house with the dormers next door. O'Donovan Street used to come right up to Island Avenue. A huge fire destroyed the building in 1920. We'll have to end with some pictures of the O'Donovan Bridge. The bridge didn't go across the Ohio River, but instead just went across the P&LE railroad tracks to Schoenville, which is now known as Preston. But tune in to part 3 on the bottoms and the building of the McKees Rocks Bridge.